सावधूतं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सगण ललिता श्री विशाखावितंश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय श्री प्रभुपाद। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम पदाय ते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरपिषे नमः। Okay, I'll start right away. नाना शास्त्र विचारणैक निपुणौ षड्धर्म संस्थापकौ लोकानां हितकारिणौ त्रिभुवने मान्यौ शरण्याकरौ राधा कृष्ण पदारविंद भजना आनंदेन मत्तालिकौ वंदे रूप सनातन रघुयुगौ श्री जीव गोपालकौ। ओम नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायण नमस्कृत्य नरों चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयम् उदीरयत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय श्री प्रभुपाद। Okay, Hare Krishna everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. So I'm going to try my best if I can make it. If I can't, Sharad Prabhuji is my standby. He will continue the point I leave off. All right. So let's now again try to share my screen. Yeah, it is already sharing. You can see the screen now.
No, Prabhu. We could not.
No, Prabhu. No, Prabhuji.
Okay. Prabhuji, can you show your screen, please?
Okay, Prabhuji. I will do that.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. YouTube is not started. Kindly start this.
I'm sorry. What is Mataji? What are you saying?
Live streaming YouTube में नहीं शुरू हुआ है प्रभुजी।
I
am working on that.
अच्छा कोई बात नहीं, जान दो।
Okay, प्रभुजी. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, may I start with the synopsis?
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So in the last class, we did lesson 10 of theme 4, covering sutras from 58 to 65. From 58 to 66, that describes the glories of bhakti and the obstacles that come on the path of devotional service. Sutra 58 highlights that success through devotional service is more easily attainable than any other process. The goal of the other process is to attain bhakti only. It is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam that in Kali Yuga, there are many faults like short lives, people are quarrelsome, lazy, misguided, and disturbed. It has one good quality, that it has the most accessible form of bhakti is prescribed in Kali Yuga, and that is the congregational chanting of the holy names of the Lord. The simplest method is given directly, which is simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and no highly complicated rituals are prescribed. Although modes of material nature are very difficult to overcome, but for those who have surrendered completely, can overcome these easily and go beyond it. Sutra 59 highlights that because devotional service in itself is the standard of authority, it does not depend on any other spiritual process, and that makes it the easiest of all the other processes. Lord has stated in Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati. I can be known through bhakti only, because he reveals himself only to his devotees through rendering devotional service, and not to the foolish and intelligent who don't even know that he is unborn and infallible. It is just not possible to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna without being Krishna conscious. Sutra 60 states that bhakti, which is to dwell on the personal form, name, and pastimes of the Lord, is an experience of unfilled peace and supreme ecstasy. And the devotees who experience this are unalloyed, who do not ask for any benedictions from the Lord. They have no other desire than to serve him. They worship him in full surrender and always hear and chant about his activities, which are the most auspicious and wonderful. Sutra 61. A devotee is always in the win-win situation, because he has consigned his mundane and Vedic duties to the Lord. So he doesn't have to worry about material loss or ill health, as he realizes that Krishna allowed him only token punishment for his past sinful action. He just has to remain motivated and fixed in devotional service, and if he sometimes falls in the immature stages, yet there is no danger of being unsuccessful. But for a non-devotee, a non-devotee does not achieve anything by being fully occupied in the worldly duties. Sutra 62. So, while trying to reach the stage of pure devotion, one must certainly continue executing prescribed duties. Both a grihastha and a sannyasi should follow the prescribed method and do their respective karma, but in Krishna consciousness. Whenever there is a conflict between the obligations towards family and society and one's spiritual vows, then one should give priority to his duty towards the Lord, because Lord automatically takes care of his devotees' worldly duties. A devotee who successfully preaches Krishna consciousness can help liberating many other people. Hence, his work is of utmost importance. Because he brings people to chant Hare Krishna and hear Krishna Katha, he gives them a cure for their suffering. This is exemplified by Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada went through many trying circumstances in practicing Krishna consciousness and his personal life, but in spite of everything, he was successful in reaching Krishna consciousness to the whole world. Lord Krishna endowed him with everything. Sutra 63 highlights the obstacles of devotional service. Narad Muni emphasizes not just to engage in sinful activities, but also to avoid intimately interacting with those who are engaged in sinful activities. He warns us of the weapons of Maya, which are sex, wealth, and atheism. And the worst is to hear the blasphemy of Lord Vishnu and his devotees, besides reading and hearing newspapers, mundane books, and erotic stories of men and women. One must avoid prajalpa. All this should be replaced by association of pure devotees, chanting and preaching the holy names of Lord and Krishna Katha, following the regulative principles and gradually fixing one's life in rendering devotional service. Sutra 64. One should put aside false pride, hypocrisy, and other vices by remembering the source of all the good fortune, which is Krishna. Only a rare devotee who has adopted complete and unalloyed devotional service to Lord Krishna can uproot the weeds of sinful actions. This can be done simply by rendering devotional service. Sutra 65. One must offer all his activities to the Lord. By this, he will be always thinking about the Lord. The vices like anger, pride, and lust should be transformed in relation to the Lord. We should not imitate the transcendental feelings of pure devotees, but we should be inspired by hearing them and better ourselves in our service. The most natural way to control the mind is to always think about how best to serve Krishna. If we learn to dovetail everything for Krishna, we have learned the most important lesson that Narad Muni is teaching us in this particular sutra. And the last sutra 66, finally we should try to transcend the secondary types of devotion done for sakama purposes with the goal to attain parabhakti. Gradually the coverings of the three modes of nature will break. One should then act only in pure love of Lord, in the mood of dasanudas, or lover serving her beloved. This was lesson 10. Now over to you. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, so beautiful. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So, as Mataji was saying, the verses before that Sharad Prabhuji covered actually. So today we will continue our discussion about this pure devotees. And now we'll be talking about Sutra 67 to 73. And that is lesson 11. And the last one, lesson 12, the remaining verses up to 84, Sutra 84, that we will do tomorrow. And that should conclude this Narada Bhakti Sutra. So beginning next weekend, we will start, we will commence with the new course, Madhurya Kadambini. Okay. Probably next slide, please. So this is all about the glories of pure devotees, Uttamadhikari, all right? So this is lesson 11. Continue, please, Prabhuji, continue. Next one. Glories of pure devotees. So, okay, as you see that this is the iconic slide in which what I show the highlight each of the sutras, 67 to 73, 67 that stands, that says the greatest of the Lord's devotees are his intimate servants. So that tells you that these kind of devotees, the topmost pure devotees of the Lord, they are considered themselves as the servants of the Lord. They will never ever claim that they are Krishna himself, okay? So that is unlike many, nowadays we see this craze, when they become very popular, they suddenly declare themselves that they are Krishna, you know? So this is the fundamental difference of those who are truly pure devotees of the Lord. They will never ever claim they are the Krishna, but rather they are the servant of Krishna. So Sutra 68, and what are their characteristics? So when they meet each other, they converse to each other all about Krishna, his pastimes, the mantras and all this. That is what they talk about among themselves. And these devotees, while doing that, they purify their followers and the entire world, whosoever they come in contact with them. And text Sutra 69, as you see here, showing in green, their association. So we are to be really aspiring to have and receive association of such pure devotees. So their association is, look at these are the characteristics of their association, that it is these devotees who make the holy places holy, because we have this understanding when we go to these holy places, that influences, but that holiness of the tirthas are due to these pure devotees who visit such tirtha sthanas, and so they make everybody very, very conscious, very auspicious. Conscious means Krishna consciousness, and the scriptures authority also we learn from them, because scriptures, there are built-in contradictions. Only those pure devotees, because of their special angle of vision from Krishna, they explain the true purport of the Shastra, and that too also according to the time, place, and circumstances, and how they apply to each of us. These pure devotees, they have the ability to explain to all these things to us. Then Sutra 70, the intimates, they are the intimate servants of the Lord and are fully absorbed in rendering loving devotional service. That is the overriding characteristic of such devotees. And then Sutra 71, the pure devotees, forefathers, previous their family members, they become joyful even in the other worlds they might be there. As we all know, how Nrsimhadev, when Prahlad Maharaj was worried that his father, the demon Hiranyakashipu, he offended the Lord so many times, and he was worried how he will go to the hellish planet and so on like that. So Hiranyakashipu, after killing Nrsimhadev, assured Prahlad Maharaj, don't ever worry, because you are the great devotee that appeared in this dynasty. Your not only your father Hiranyakashipu, but even the 21 generations above, they were all be purified of all their offenses and karmas. So that is the highlight of that. And then Sutra 72. Now, Prabhuji, I was still there. Can you go back? Sutra 72. There are no distinctions among such pure devotees. So the outer designations, that we all have, whether we are Brahmana, Kshatriyas, and so on like that, or our education, somebody is an engineer, somebody is a doctor. But among the devotees, this outer designation has no value to it, no value at all. Their only representation, their only pehchan, how we know them is only because they are the pure devotees of the Lord. There is their true, really identity. That's what I'm talking about. And the Sutra 73, the last one today, pure devotees are not distinguished by such, that's why I just told, by external externals like social class, for they belong to the Lord. That is their highest highlight. Next one, please. So what we saw in this slide was the fundamental characteristics of these pure devotees. Now which will go each of these sutras, both Sanskrit and then English translation. So what you see, all the 7 sutras in one single slide. So now we'll zoom in into each of those. So the first three sutras, 67, 68, and 69, that is represented in this slide. So Sutra 67, what does it say in Sanskrit? Bhakta ekantino mukhyaha. Bhakta, that is a plural of bhakta. So among all the devotees, what is their fundamental characteristics? The mukhya means the principal ones. And they are exclusively, ekantino means exclusively, they are the devotees of the Lord. So among the Lord's devotees, the greatest are those who are dedicated 100% to the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. And they are exclusively, they are not at all engaged in so many Devi Devatas, right? That's what I'm telling you. There is a single-minded focus on Sri Krishna only, you know, and they don't want to get their attention diverted in too many demigods and so on like that. Sutra 68, Kantha avarodha, Kantha avarodha, Roma Ashrubhihi, Parasparam Lapamanaha, Pavayanti Kulani Prithvincha. So let me break these composite words. Kantha avarodha. Kantha means this throat, okay? The voice which we speak through our throat. Avarodha, when it is blocking, when does this happen? When a person is emotionally really captured, completely controlled by these innermost emotions, then many times you will experience that we are not unable to speak actually. Our voice is blocked right from there because of the overriding empowered these emotions for Krishna and their Roma, all the hair standing on their head, on their hands, because of the tremendous romancha. You know, romancha word comes from Romas. You know, this hair standing on its ends. Then Ashrubi, their eyes, they're rolling, and the tears are rolling from their eyes because of these extreme emotions. Now, these are the characteristics, okay, that should not be copied. Artificially, you cannot create that. That must come from naturally emotions for Krishna, and that is what we see in these pure devotees. And then Paraspara Lapamanaha, they are continuously engaged in remembering Krishna all the time, you know, and they talk about it among themselves, Paraspara. Pavayanti, and so such devotees, they Pavayanti means they purify Kulani Prithvimcha, in the entire earthly planet. Whosoever comes in contact with such pure devotees, they get purified. Their own friends, circles, they among themselves, even those who are not at all related to them, but just coming in simple contact. Prabhupada used to travel all the time, and the thousands and thousands of people around in the street, they would gather to have a glimpse of Prabhupada, and Prabhupada simply throw glance in the crowd, not necessarily focused on any one single person, but they all, whosoever get a little glance from Prabhupada, their lives are completely revolutionized, and they come to Krishna conscious platform. So that is what the highlight of this particular verse. Then Sutra 69, Tirthi kurvanti tirthani, Tirthi kurvanti tirthani, excuse me, Sukarmi kurvanti, Karmani sacha stri kurvanti shastrani. So Tirthi kurvanti, all these different tirthasthanas, those holy dhamas, you know, they are purified by themselves, by these pure devotees who visit there, tirthani. All the karmas, actions get purified, sukarma, kurvanti. Karmani, saicha, stri kurvanti. So their association makes holy places holy. All the different kind of work they do, they all become auspicious. And the scripture's authority also comes from there, because they know the inner purports of the Shastric statements, built-in contradictions. They know exactly what it means, but they are context-driven, time, place, circumstances, as well as the person, so that uh, they can tell us about the true purport of the Shastras. So they have that special angle of vision from Krishna. And each of these devotees, they have their own particular realizations that they share with us. Okay, Haribol, next one. So the remaining 4 verses. Yattas diya, yattas tadiya. That means pure devotees are not distinguished by externals like social class. Their outer designations has no meaning at all. Their only identity, their ID, is because they are the devotees of the Lord. Okay, the Sutra 72. Na asti teshu jati vidya rupa kula dhana kriya adi bheda. So outer designations. There are no distinctions among pure devotees in terms of social class, jati, education, vidya, rupa, the bodily beauty, bodily form, kriya, kula means the dynasty or particular family traditions, their family status, that has no meaning at all. Adi, etc., etc. Veda means differences in that. Then Sutra 71, Modante Pitaro Nrityante Devataha Sanatha Chayam Bhur Bhavati. So there, thus these pure devotees, forefathers, okay, become joyful seeing their descendants, how they become pure devotees. The entire dynasty, entire family, several generations before, they all become purified, and their forefathers, knowing that, realizing that, they become very happy. And of course, even the demigods, in their great joy, seeing such a pure devotee on the earth, looking at him and how he purifies to others, knowing that the demigods, in their great joy, become dancing. They start dancing on themselves, okay? And they're fully absorbed in loving. And then the world feels protected by good masters. Okay. I go into a reverse, like from top to bottom. Okay, next slide, please. So now, just hearing about the fundamental characteristics of each of these verses, and that's all. They are the glorification of such pure devotees and their special characteristics, just in a glimpse through. Now we will hear a much more detailed explanation of each of these mantras. So this Sutra 67, among the Lord's devotees, the greatest are those who are dedicated to him solely as his intimate servants. As I told you, that they will never ever claim that they are Krishna, but they are the menial servants of the servant of Krishna. So what is their fundamental characteristics? They are fully devoted. Fully devoted means what? Single-minded focus, a laser pointed focus on Krishna. Their attention is not at all diverted to different things, different demigods, okay? Ganesh, Lord Shiva, and all this. No, they are focused right on Krishna only, single-pointed focus, and devotional service. But that really does not necessarily mean that they are blind to everything going on around them, okay? But see, the special characteristic of this such devotee, and the good way to understand is by example of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada was such a pure devotee. He had this single-pointed focus on Krishna only, of course, you know. Nonetheless, he managed overseeing all these different temple building projects when he was here. 108 temples were built all around the world, all the major cities. Krishna's Srila Prabhupada's disciples were engaged there. So Prabhupada used to constantly travel from one place to another place, and all the time he was in thinking about Krishna only and all the projects. But he was well aware of what's going on around there, and he was able to manage that. Now that sounds kind of self-contradiction, isn't it? How can a person who is totally focused on one particular thought, and how he could be aware what's going on other things? Okay, how is he able to manage all these things if he's single-pointed focus on Krishna only? So the trick is that these devotees are able to connect everything that are engaged with Krishna, everything, you know. So all the temple thing, his connection is that they are all for Krishna's service in different parts of the world, who for some reason or other they cannot travel, come to India. So they have a temple within their cities where they live, and they can go. So basically the Prabhupada's idea is to grant them this devotee association, and they serve Krishna in that regard, you know. So that is what they are able to connect anything and everything that is there involved with Krishna. And so that is why this apparent contradiction does not apply to such pure devotees. So they have this broadest vision that is Mahatma, the great souls, sees Krishna in everywhere, and one-pointed focus, while performing wide varieties of service to the Lord. You know, so those who are on this path are resolute, focus completely on that, for him only, for Krishna only, and their aim is single-pointed, just one focus: how to spread the glories of Krishna, and how to make more and more devotees of Krishna. That is what their goal, so that they could be not only liberated from this material existence, they are suffering communities, okay, suffering souls. But if they are given this particular knowledge about Krishna, when they come to Krishna conscious platform, they become freed from their sufferings. Not only that, they ultimately cultivate and develop love for the Supreme Lord. Okay? So, so there are verses that has been quoted here. So those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is single-pointed, one only, and that is Krishna. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute. So, unlike these pure devotees, they're single-pointed focus on there, but those others whose focus is divided, okay, all these different, so many different demigods and so on like that, they can never have that kind of a result, you know. That's what it says. Those who are irresolute, opposite of that, engrossed, being blind to the knowledge of the ultimate truth, have many subject matters. So it's like you know, and jack of all, master of none. Yeah. It's like that. So if you really, you are a material platform, if you want to really achieve something, become expert in one category, you really have to focus only on that area only. Then you can become focused. But if your focus is everywhere, then you are not resolute, you are irresolute. So those persons who are materially engrossed, being blind to the knowledge of the ultimate truth, have many subject matters for hearing in human society. O Emperor, best way to cultivate high, single-pointed devotion, single-minded devotion, is to keep Krishna in the center of your life. Everything revolves around that. Everything else can be dovetailed in Krishna's service. That's what this verse is talking about. then the holy name of Krishna is so attractive that anyone who chants it, including the all living entities, moving and non-moving, even Lord Krishna himself becomes imbued with love of Krishna. This is the effect of chanting. This is the way to connect with Krishna, chanting the holy name, most powerful way, especially in Kali Yuga, and that is what we were discussing in the morning. Actually, for you, of course, evening in India, we were reading from this Prem Vivarta. That is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching was there, and Jagadananda Prabhu was telling about exactly the same point that we are just talking about. That. Next slide, please. Next slide. So Sutra 68. Conversing among one another with throats choked, their hair standing on end. So this is what the emotions in serving Krishna. You need those emotions, but they must come naturally, not artificially, and that will come when you are connected with Krishna internally. Okay, your heart must be in tune, and that is the difference between Bhava Bhakti and Prema Bhakti. At Bhava Bhakti, your heart becomes softened. Okay, all the emotions develop. So that this verse is discussed in at greater length. So this is from NOD, Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada's purport. So Prabhupada actually warns all of us that no one should artificially imitate such pure devotees, and that has to be our goal. Its goal is there, but we are not at that point yet. We want to have that kind of emotion develop within us naturally, but if we are not there at that point, then don't artificially create that to make an impression in the public. So one should learn how to cry for the Lord, and that's what this Jagadananda Prabhu also says in his book Prema Vivarta, that when he was writing this book, not only his eyes cried, he was constantly thinking about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his intimate connections with him. All the time he was crying, but not only his eyes cried, okay, but his heart cried, his mind cried, his very being was crying. Every roam, every element of his body were crying in separation from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is what the emotions, that kind of emotions we are talking about. So tears should come naturally, not like many of the speakers, when they present public programs in big pandals, thousands of people are there, and in public they cry. Some of them may be doing naturally, of course, but not many of them necessarily might be doing that. Especially in public, you have to restrain yourself, even though you have genuine emotions, but not in public. That's what Prabhupada is to warn us. The next paragraph here, Bhava is definitely displayed in the matter of cessation of material desires. So these are again some special characteristics of such pure devotee who have attained that platform. How are they? So there are no more material desires, utilization of every moment. They don't waste a single minute doing things that are not connected with Krishna. All the time, whatever they do, on the surface it might look that they are doing different things, but no, on their mind it's Krishna, and whatever they think that what the other people think that he's doing, but that is he's connecting with Krishna. He has a particular idea behind that, why he's doing that. Okay. Their eagerness for glorifying the Lord constantly. Nama Gane Sada Ruchi. So Ruchi means they have a taste for that. Attraction for living in the land of the Lord. Complete detachment from material happiness. Their pridelessness, their humility, the dainya bhav that we are talking about. one who has developed all these transcendental qualities is really possessed of all the bhava stage. They have already reached to that, but their heart is very soft, and they reach to the bhava bhakti, and they are distinguished from the stone-hearted imitator of mundane devotees. So that is what one must remember. That third segment on that, the topics of the Lord Krishna are so auspicious that they purify the speaker. So this is just not just the very name of Krishna. Name is more effective than Krishna himself, in fact, and all about Krishna. Anything and everything that his leelas, his pastimes. When we talk, it purifies our heart. In fact, one of the 6 questions of the 6 of those 6 questions that the sages of Naimishanya who asked Sutta Goswami. So in that answer, they asked about that how is Krishna coming? What is the main purpose? To reclaim his devotees, and how does he do that? By enacting the sweet human-like pastimes that the only Krishna can do, not any of his expansions. He has that sweet, beautiful pastimes, his beauty and his sweetness. So simply hearing that, we come to the mode of goodness, and that is a stepping stone actually. Unless we come to the mode of goodness, we cannot render pure devotional service. So that's what he does. That he allows us simply hearing about that. We come to the mode of goodness and we purify for all our karmas and so on like that. And then the real bhakti starts. Evam prasanna manaso bhagavata bhakti prayojita. And then Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam, that's where the science of Krishna develops in our heart. Krishna reveals himself right within our heart when we come to that stage, when the pure bhakti begins, that we saw other day also in that same, when we come to that platform, then the real bhakti starts. Then men face one another in enmity and snarl just like cats and dogs. So in Ishopanishad cannot give advice to the cats and dogs. So this is what we have to really transcend these problems that we have in this material world. These are nothing really. Real problem is to how to get out of this material existence. So we unnecessarily try and fight over trivial things in this material world. We should forget these are not the main difficulties that we have faced. Our main difficulty is how to get out of these things, and that is where the Krishna consciousness helps. Hearing about Krishna, simply hearing, and let other people hear about these pastimes. So that's what these pure devotees do. That they constantly travel. While travel, they spread the glories of Krishna and let people hear about Krishna, and that really triggers the revolution in the lives of the people, thousands of people. So they have that potency there because the Krishna empowers them within themselves. Everywhere they go, thousands and thousands of people, their lives are completely changed when they speak. Next one. So glorification of Krishna and glorification of such devotees. So let's take this 5 minutes break, please. Thank you. Okay, just about 10 seconds now. All right, next slide, please. So we're continuing. Now their association we talk about. So let's recapitulate what we covered this far. So we already discussed before this lesson the para bhakti, pure bhakti, as distinguished from apara bhakti. Para bhakti means beyond the modes of material nature, whereas apara bhakti, that is under the influence of the three modes. Okay, and now today's these sutras are focused on those para bhaktas who render para bhakti. Okay, and the fundamental characteristics mean they never ever claim that they are Krishna. They are always in a dainya bhav, utter humility, and they always consider themselves as the servant of the servants of the servants of Krishna. You know, they are always thinking about Krishna single-mindedly, focused completely, not anywhere other Devi Devtas they don't worship. Single focus, exclusive focus on Krishna, and constantly thinking about him and talking about Krishna to others among themselves. And when they go out, they talk about Krishna only and let people hear about Krishna. That's their goal. So in their emotions, constantly thinking about Krishna, that comes out. So all these different emotions that we saw that, right? The kanta avarodha, the choked up in voice, speaking like that. Their hair stands on its ends, and the tears rolling from their eyes. All these things are natural outlet of their emotions, you know, and how they affect the environment. Whoever comes in contact, they are also affected by that, you know. I remember when such great souls come to our temple, the whole atmosphere gets supercharged. Everybody realizes exactly something is there. When they are across, when they are in front of you, you will notice the big difference. Completely, you will experience that difference. So that is what we have so far seen that. Now we are saying that their association is what's the potency of their association. In fact, this Tirthasthana, the holy dhams, the very nature, characteristic holiness of this dhamas is because of this these pure devotees visit them. You know, because we sometimes when we visit the Tirtha dhamas, we think that these are holy dhams. It's very good, it will help us. But that holiness of the dhama is because of that. In fact, one of the purports that right here Prabhupada talks about river Ganges, you know, and we all know taking a bath in this holy river Ganges purifies our karmas, bad deeds. Because of the bad deeds that we are suffering in this world right now today, prarabdha karma, you know. So we all give great, this Mother Ganges had that benediction from Krishna, that whosoever takes bath in you, they become purified. So, and their bad deeds, the sinful reactions get washed away. So Mother Ganges was really worried about that everybody comes, all the sinful souls take bath in my water, then I will have to accept all these karmas. What about me then? So the Lord actually assured Mother Ganges that not only the non-devotees will take bath, but even the devotees of my devotees will come and take bath, and they will purify your waters too also, you know. And because ultimately, actually, river Ganges started, of course, we know all that, touching from the toes of Lord Vishnu, actually his expansion, you know. When Vaman Dev took 3 steps from this Bali Maharaj, in the first couple of steps that he covered the entire universe. And third step, he didn't know where to put, so he asked, so Bali said, please place it on my head, actually. But while he was taking the first and second step, he pierced the boundary between material world and spiritual world, where the celestial Ganga flows. So his toes touched that, and that's how the Mother Ganga become greatly source of purification of that, So that is what we see here. Tirthas become burdened by the sins of visiting pilgrims who sometimes commit new sins even while traveling in on pilgrimage. Commercialization is also another issue. Prabhupada talks in his purport. So to purify this holy dhamas, because of this influence of these non-devotees, the saintly people also visit. Just like saintly people take bath in river Ganges, and river Ganges get purified. So the saintly people also, those non-devotees visiting the holy dhams, and they commit sinful offenses, these saintly people purify. And so their holiness of such holy dhams is because of the saintly people visiting those places. It's because that they remain holy. Then the next paragraph, the Lord devotees like your good self are verily holy places personified, because you carry the personality of God within your heart. You turn all places into places of pilgrimage. By their actions, the pure devotees of the Lord can render any place into a place of pilgrimage. They are the walking holy dhams where they travel. By their Sushruta se Vasudev Katharuchi. In that verse, this particular thing comes there, that they are the walking tirthasthanas. So by their action, the pure devotees of the Lord can render any place into a place of pilgrimage. So that's what Prabhupada used to say, that Vrindavan consciousness, Prabhupada was living in Vrindavan, but just for the purpose of spreading Krishna consciousness all around the world, he left that place willingly, everywhere he went. So he created the Vrindavan consciousness, all the places in the West also, and how revolutionized people, those who are drunkards, womenizers, smokers, all these people that gave up their bad habits and they become Krishna conscious. In fact, they themselves become gurus subsequently and initiated devotees. So that kind of revolution Prabhupada brought in here, So such pure devotees are able to rectify the polluted atmosphere of any place. And what to speak of a holy place rendered unholy by the questionable actions of this interested person who try to adopt a personal lifestyle at the cost of reputation of the holy places. So they pollute such holy dhams, non-devotees, but at the same time, such pure devotees also visit and they repurify those holy dhams again, So their holiness is preserved by the very virtue of such pure devotees going everywhere. Anywhere, everywhere, wherever they travel, every day, every second, they change people's lives tremendously for good. The third paragraph, when such pure devotees bathe, so this is River Ganges who are worried about that. So that's where Lord Vishnu says, when Mother Ganges was worried, the sinful people, they purify themselves by taking a bath in my water. What about me then? I will be collecting all the sinful reactions. So no, Lord assured her that just as the non-devotees come, even my devotees will come there and they take bath in your water and your water will purify because of these holy people. Because they constantly think about me all the time. So they really literally represent Krishna wherever they go as his representatives. Just like the ambassadors of a particular country, when they go to foreign land, they represent their India, their own country by being there. They represent what is the good of those countries they come. So when such purity is bathed in your water, the sinful reaction accumulated from other people will certainly be counteracted For such devotees always keep in the core of their hearts the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who can vanquish all sinful reactions, and they convert karma into bhakti. Whoever serves so unknowingly, even unknowingly, they gain permanent spiritual benefits. That's what I was telling you, that when Prabhupada used to travel, thousands of people used to gather, sometimes out of curiosity, nonetheless, just single glance of Prabhupada throws in the crowd, and those people who came not necessarily meeting him or seeing him, but out of curiosity, they become purified. And that's why Prabhupada started this Ratha Yatra. His main purpose is because of that. So millions of people who gather and they get the darshan of the Supreme Lord, and their lives are totally changed. It's because of Prabhupada's mercy, great mercy, when he started Ratha Yatra all over the world. Before Ratha Yatra used to be only in India, the Purushottam Kshetra, Now we get all that benefit because of the virtues of Prabhupada-like devotees in this world. The last one. Why saintly persons are so auspicious and influenced? We saintly persons are so auspiciously and influential. Sanatana Goswami.
Prabhu, you can take a couple of minutes rest, Prabhu, if required.
I'm almost finished now. Thank you. I do not know who Krishna is. As far as I'm concerned, this is what Sanatana Goswami tells, about that. So he answers that I really don't know who Krishna, but he is serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is Krishna. So that's his main focus right there. That's what he's explaining. I've been released from prison only by your mercy. This is why the place where great devotees resides in Tirtha, and why Narada Muni says that they are purify themselves, establish holy places, and give authority to the scriptures, because they are Tanmaya. Tanmaya means they literally are Krishnaized. Their very existence represent Krishna. Okay. Hey, okay, continue. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol.
Prabhuji, kindly take a rest, Prabhu, please.
Water. Why did you get water?
Okay. We are done now. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide, please.
Prabhuji, you should take a rest, Prabhuji. Please forgive me for saying it repeatedly.
Thus the pure devotees' forefathers become joyful, the demigods dance, and the world feels protected by the good masters. So this is what the potency, not only in that particular family, such a pure devotee actually manifests when they come. Their whole previous generations, 21 generations before and after, they become purified. Such a potency. So we have been hearing is such a wonderful qualities of such pure devotees. Even see, I'm suffering now, but see, I'm discussing these points. Why I'm suffering is because of my karmas. So by talking about Krishna to all of you, in the association of devotees like you, my karmas getting purified. So ultimately, that is the solution. So we are treating. I'm trying to treat the very cause, not the symptoms. The Supreme Personality of God had said, my dear Prahlad. So Prahlad Maharaj was worried that my father Hiranyakashipu have offended so badly, and now he'll be going through the hellish world. Please do something about my father. So out of great compassion, even Hiranyakashipu was trying to kill him. His son Prahlad. Prahlad was begging for the mercy of his father to Lord Nrsimhadev. Lord Nrsimhadev said, don't worry, because you, such a devotee of great caliber, you came in this family, Devonia family, your 21 generations, not only your father is purified of all his offenses, but even the forefathers, they all become purified, because you were born in this family. The entire dynasty has been purified. Whenever and wherever there are peaceful, equipoised devotees who are well behaved and decorated with all good qualities, that place and the dynasties, every day become completely purified. So after this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu testified Amogha. Now Amogha was a son-in-law of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and this Amogha, this particular personality, badly offended Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not take into that account of his own actions, but because he happened to be the son-in-law of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who was a great devotee of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually did not take any offense. In fact, he purified Amogha, the son-in-law of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So everyone in Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's house is very, very dear to me, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that, including his maids, servants, and even his dog. Just incredible. Just see that even anything and everything that is within the possession of such great devotees, everyone get purified. What to speak of his relatives? The inhabitants of Kim Purusha Loka. Now, Kim Purusha is one of the places in the Jambu Dvipa. There are different planetary systems. There, this Kim Purusha means the very word Kim Purusha. Kim means what? Is this? But so they look like human beings, but they're in the ape kind of bodies. In fact, Hanumanji is one of that personality, great devotee of Lord Ramachandra. So they were praying to the Lord here. We are insignificant living entities, and you are the supreme personality Godhead, the supreme controller. Therefore, how can we offer suitable prayers unto you? See that this is their Dainya Bhav, great devotees, but they say that we are not qualified to offer prayers to you, oh my Lord, like that. So and the Lord likes such Dainya Bhav, such great humility. He does not like pride. That also we are going to see, we are going to hear in Jagadananda Prabhu's book, Prema Vivarta. So this how to take care of the pride. It's very, very difficult to get out of that, because everybody becomes puffed up by whatever little talents they might have. They think it's all because of me. No, it's not like that. So that can only be happened by the mercy of a devotee, actually. So here in that Prema Vivarta book, Jagadananda Prabhu says, only by Lord Nityananda's mercy, we become free of this false pride. In fact, Lord Brahma, when he undertook the responsibility of taking secondary creation, Visarga, he was worried that he will come to this false pride. So he asked the Lord, please, Lord, protect me. I don't want to ever get into this false pride. So Lord assured him, then only he took that role of creating the secondary creation. Secondary creation, Lord created all the basic ingredients. Okay, all Brahmaji was creating. So Brahmaji himself was created by the Supreme Lord, Lord Krishna. So he was worried. So he was asked to create the 14 planetary systems and this 8.4 million pieces of life forms, bodily forms. That was his only role. But he was worried that he might fall into this false pride that I have done this thing, I have done that. Nothing of that sort. Everything, all the great abilities that we might have is given to us, not coming within us. It is given to us by the Lord, and it must be utilized in the Lord's service. So all this, I thought that I was a scientist all these 50 plus years, but now I realize that ability was given to me in serving the Lord. So now what I'm trying to do is exactly doing that. Being able to read thousands of pages of book and immediately grasp internally and present it to all of you is all because of that. I got it from the Lord. I'm not the doer. He is the doer. I'm just his instrument. I let myself play, taken whatever the way, how he wants to utilize me. That's what he does. So that is what I learned reading Prabhupada's books. We have nothing. And let Krishna, and Krishna's job, you see, if we are not ready, somebody else will take the position. Krishna's motion, Krishna's goal, Krishna's mission will continually go unabated. If we are not ready, somebody else is going to be placed in that role, you know. So we are not indispensable people like that. If something should happen to me, fine. Somebody else is there. See, right now, Sharad Prabhuji is covering me. That's exactly. So when Kali Yuga began, Parikshit Maharaj chastised a Shudra. That Shudra was actually Kali himself, you know, who was beating the earth, personified as a cow. Earth was like that, you know. So he was about to kill Kali, but then Kali said, begged him for mercy and said that, look, I come here is because this is a part of the Krishna's plan. I'm doing simply that, you know. So he took that allowed him to survive, but with conditions placed on him. The four regulative principles that is because of that. Next slide, please. I think it's almost coming to the end now. Okay. Yeah. There are no distinctions among pure devotees in terms of social class, education, bodily beauty, families. So these are all things, outer designations. For devotees, it carries no meaning at all whatsoever. Their only ID, their only identification is because they are the devotee of the Lord. So that is the theme that is explained by Prabhupada here. O son of Pritha, that is Arjuna, who those who take shelter in me, Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita 9:32, though maybe of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, Sūtras, workers, and so on like that, can attain the supreme distinction, being situated in his original Krishna conscious position. A pure devotee does not identify with the body. Okay, such a person, such a devotee should not be seen from a materialistic point of view. Now, this is a warning to all of us. If a devotee in a deformed position, he might be there, deformed shape or bodily defects. We should not look up to that, but because he is a devotee, that is what we should pay attention to that. Such a devotee should not be seen from a materialistic point of view. Indeed, one should overlook a devotee having a body born in low family, a body with a bad complexion, a deformed body, or a diseased or infirm body. According to ordinary vision, such imperfection may seem prominent in the body of pure devotee, but despite such seeming defects, the body of a pure devotee cannot be polluted. So this is what the warning to all of us. Never ever see the extraneous way that such devotee present themselves. What we should see, how intense Krishna consciousness within them and how it is being projected all around like an aura of such a devotee. That is what it counts. Okay. So according to the ordinary vision, such imperfection may seem prominent in the body of a pure devotee, but despite such seeming defects, the body of a pure devotee cannot be polluted. It is exactly like the waters of the Ganges, which sometimes during this rainy season are full of bubbles, polluted than Ganges. But potency of Ganges remains there all the time. You know? So the Ganges water do not become polluted. Those who are advanced in spiritual understanding will bathe in the Ganges without considering the condition of the water. Just as the Ganges water looks polluted, that is not what we should look into. One should therefore avoid observing a pure devotee externally, but should try to see the internal features and understand how he is engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. And pure devotees, their potency, their devotional potency, that's emanating from their body, you know, and that you will see when you see that, you know, you immediately will recognize. Everything else you forget about him, but that's what we, when I remember in our temple, such great devotees comes, immediately you know that he is a very elevated soul. Immediately, the whole atmosphere supercharged. immediately you know that something is there in that person. It's emanating all around him, you know. And you become really just incredible feeling. I've personally experienced that, you know. That is particularly the great sannyasi guru that I've seen, that Radhanath Maharaj. So Radhanath Maharaj, when he speaks, his humility is just incredible. It touches your heart. So wherever Radhanath Maharaj is there, you will see what I'm just talking about exactly like that. Okay, how glorious are they whose tongues are chanting the holy name, even if born in the families of dog eaters. Such persons are worshipable. Persons who chant the holy name for the Lordship, your Lordship, have executed all kinds of austerities in the fire sacrifices and achieved all the good manners of the Aryans. So they are special personalities, and by the mercy of the Lord, such holy personalities, we don't get to see them, you know, every day like that. Very rarely, by great fortune, Lord allows us to have a glimpse of such personalities. And just one moment of their association, you know, one moment of their merciful glance on us will completely change our lives. That is the potency of the Krishna literally resides within themselves. Every word they speak, you know, that is where Krishna is there. They are literally projecting Krishna everywhere, all around them in their great aura. You know, that is the potency of such great devotees. Haribol, next slide, please. I think probably the last one. 73. Pure devotees are not distinguished by external, like social class, for they belong to the world. This is from Padma Purana. Narada Muni explains why you should avoid caste consciousness, prejudice toward devotees of the Lord. And now that is also Jagadananda Prabhu talks about that, caste, varnas, and so on like that. These non-devotees are very proud of that, but the devotees, they don't consider this thing. Of all types of worship of the Lord Vishnu is the best, and better than worship of the Lord Vishnu is the worship of his devotees, the Vaishnavas. This is actually Lord Shiva also says the same thing. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I'm equal to all, but whosoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I'm also in friend to him. This is what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. The humble sages, by virtue of their true knowledge, see within equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog. So to them, these kind of distinctions, bodily form, human form, animal form, it doesn't, because in everyone's heart, Krishna resides as the super soul. And these personalities, they're able to see that, experience that. And that's what they look. They don't see outer form of a body of such or people, everyone. So even those who are non-devotees, devotees and non-devotees, they see everyone equally. Samaha sarveshu bhuteshu, you know, evam prasanna atma. So they see everyone equal. They see Krishna in everyone, you know. All around them, they see Krishna, nothing else. So I think of you as my little boys to be maintained by me. The maintainer never takes seriously any faults of the one he maintains. I always think of myself as deserving no respect, but because of affection, I always consider you to be like my little children. When a child passes stool and urine that touch the body of the mother never hates the child. On the contrary, she takes such pleasure in cleansing him. So this is the kind of pure devotees have that. Similarly, when the false moisture oozing from the source of Sanatana Goswami touches, so this is what Sanatana Goswami was, he contracted such a disease. All the pulses were coming out of the body, and he did not want Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to express, but Mahaprabhu did not care at all. He embraced him anyway, you know, because he saw Mahaprabhu, Sanatana Goswami as his devotee, you know. So in conclusion, the body of a pure devotee is never material. They are it seemed like devotees have material body, okay, and they also become sick. They become diseased. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, he contracted cancer, and all his bones spread everywhere. Every element of every bone of his body was very painful, but he did not show that thing. He was constantly, in the very last minute, he was preaching Krishna consciousness all around. I'm talking about Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. What the image I have in my mind, the way he used to dance in hot sun or whatever weather, he danced like crazy, completely crazy, just dance like anything, just Krishna consciousness. He was in his own world of Krishna, you know, and that really projected from him everywhere, all around, you know. That really, I was really amazed by Bhakti Maharaj, just like Radhanath Maharaj. Okay, I think next one is over, I think. Haribol, Prabhuji. Next one. I think that's it. Thank you very much for your patience, everyone. I'm really apologize for this coughing, all these things, but for your patience and allowing me to speak and thereby purify myself. That was my goal. It is my seva actually, and this is the only way. All things that we are suffering, this is the only solution to it. Just talk about Krishna and hear about him. You know, you purify yourself, and then you try to purify others. That is what I've learned for the last 25 years of my preaching, studying. Exactly. And I'm trying to practice it in my own life. Haribol, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So much to learn. Your health is not permitting, but still you stick to the, onto the lotus feet of the Lordship, Prabhu, with your preaching determination. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thanks for all your guidance. So we pray to Lord Narasimhadeva to you get well soon, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
It's a golden moment, you know. This moment does not come again. Thank Krishna.
Thank you. Prabhu, in the Sutra number 69, it is saying that Tirthi Kurvanti ki Tirthani. I mean, the normal people goes to the Tirtha Yatra to get away the sinful reaction in the Tirtha. But the pure devotees is going to the Tirtha to clean the Tirtha Yatra. So that is what I have taken. And the same thing is also coming in Srimad Bhagavatam first canto, also it is coming. And I think 9th chapter or somewhere where the Bhishma Suti, somewhere it is coming, Tirthi Kuranti Tirthani, that is also coming. So it is wonderful to know the glorification of the pure devotees, as you mentioned, Prabhu. And another point I really like that in the last one, we should not measure their external problems, what they are going through. They even in Nectar of Devotion you quoted, so that is one good, because this way we committing offenses, looks like, please correct me if I'm wrong, by pure devotees, by their material problems or their health problems. If we're condemning something like that, we are thinking something like that, this way we might making the offenses. But the Rupa Goswami, as you explained very nicely, they are not going through that one. So their consciousness, we need to measure the pure devotees by their inner consciousness. That is a wonderful point, Prabhu. I have taken that one from this session. Thank you, Prabhu.
Very much, very kind. So that is what I'm trying to mind. You know, all the bodily things that will come, that's a part of the territory. You know, we all suffer because of karma and so on. But such pure, we are talking about pure devotees. Their suffering, that what we see, is not because of karmas. Okay. In fact, they take devotees' karmas, and that's what they show that. So when they come, they don't pay attention to that, whatever their sufferings. Every moment they have, they utilize. So what I'm trying to do is the same thing. This moment is given by Krishna to me, and this is my opportunity. You try to overlook these things, and then Krishna takes care of that. He takes care of that. Every moment, look at because we keep hearing that we should spend every moment, every second in thinking about Krishna. How is it possible? Practically, it's impossible. Every moment, right? We have to eat, take baths, do worldly things, go to shopping, things like that. But every time when I go around, I am on my mind constantly this about it. There's so many PowerPoints I have to make, 100 lessons. So all these things are occupying my mind. So even if seemingly not doing this thing, but this is on my mind, I'm thinking about it, how am I going to approach that? And automatically when I become stuck, how to explain this thing, how to write, then immediately after a while, Krishna again enlightens me. And then I come back and resume work from that point of view. Just incredible, it happens, Look at how many lessons Krishna has allowed me to finish. 16 of the 20 lessons of this Prema Vivarta already been completed. Madhurya Kadambi, the entire course is completed. Now I'm going to sit and do Jaiva Dharma. So this is every second of my life is being engaged here by Krishna's service. And all of you are helping me to do that. So you play a fundamental role in my own practice of Krishna consciousness. Each of us, we help each other. Paraspara. We help each other. And then we spread. More we spread, more we get benefit out of it. That's how we purify ourselves. And then someday, today we are not pure devotees, but goal has to be there that we want to become a pure devotee. And it's up to Krishna. When it might happen this lifetime, it might happen subsequent lifetimes. But the available moment that we have, that is within our control. Make the best use of that available moment and think about Krishna and spread Krishna. Let others hear about him. That's what. So we have these desires. I have to be honest to you. I'm not free from other desires. I do have the desires, because of my previous conceptions of that. Nonetheless, I leave it up to Krishna. He will take care of that. I do my part. Whatever Krishna is allowing me to do, you focus on that part. Just like I give many times this example, you're driving a car, dark night, stormy night. Your headlights can see only a few hundred feet from you, and you have to go to your goal. Your destination is far away that you cannot even see how you're going to go there. But don't worry about that. You just focus whatever the distance that you can see under your headlight. Stormy night is there. You focus on that. You focus today at this particular moment, and that moment is yours. Krishna is giving you this small freedom. We all have finite freedom. Utilize that. And this is the way to do it. These pure devotees are teaching us how to do that. You study the lives of all the great pure devotees. Everyone. Look at their entire life is spent like that. Every moment they utilize. And they also not free from sufferings. Okay. And still they continue. I go.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, bro. Please go ahead, Prabhu. Radha Vinod, Prabhu. Please
Yeah,
go ahead.
okay, Prabhuji. So, Caruchandara Prabhuji, you are an ideal, you are a light for us, the way you are working hard and your dedication and you are giving us the path forward, Prabhuji. It is, we are seeing you physically. Sometimes what happens, you can see from distance, but when you see physically your dedication, it motivates us, Prabhuji, no doubt about it. And I just, Prabhuji, I have a simple question.
I'm just passing the ball. Somebody else gave me. I'm passing on to others. That's what I'm doing exactly.
Prabhuji, that is how the bhakti is, right, Prabhuji? So, so I have one question, Prabhuji, very quickly. A few weeks back earlier, we are talking holy places and a lot of discussion was there.
Yeah.
Charat Prabhuji gave one example If this, one devotee goes to holy places and he stays there, gets up morning and does no bhakti, what is it called, right? So that kind of the discussion was there. And so we understand from bhakti, right? 64 limbs of bhakti, 5 are very prominent, one of them staying holy places. But does it just means that just go and stay there and don't do anything? It doesn't mean that, right?
No.
Because when I look for, Vidura's example, for example, it's Canto 3 and see one of the purport there. So when the holy places you go, why you go? Because you see the devotees there. The Lord's devotees are there, and we hear there, their katha and their, as you are saying, their effulgence and their, their bodily and all those things you gave, visual like that. That changes, not just like visiting a holy place and just, get up in the morning and do and just sleep. Does it mean that? My question is that, Prabhuji, my understanding is that holy places, yes, it's definitely potent, but you have to do your part. That's what I understand, Prabhuji. If I'm wrong, please correct me.
No, Prabhuji, you are absolutely right on the dot. When we visit Tirthasthanas, we get the opportunity to hear such saintly personalities. And that is what's the virtue of a particular holy dham, and such personal, wherever they travel, they carry that holy dham themselves. They are the personification of holy dhams everywhere. That one Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, verse 16 is all about that. They are the walking Tirthasthanas everywhere, wherever they go there. Because they constantly project Krishna, that their body, Tanmaya, their body itself is entirely Krishna's body. And they project Krishna literally everywhere wherever they go. So if we come across such a personality, that's our golden moment. By great fortune, we get to see such personalities. We don't get to see such personalities every now and then. So, and they constantly visit these holy dhams all the time, So that is the reason why when we go there, we get an opportunity to hear from them, to have a darshan of them. And their aura that we receive, even one ray of that aura, that completely will change our life. And then we come within the purview of Krishna, and there is mercy flows. So Krishna gives his mercy through such his devotees.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prasad.
Such a wonderful class, Prabhu. Such a wonderful class, Prabhu. Okay, I think we can never forget this class, Prabhu. Okay. I think this is what is meant by devotional service, a pure devotional service. At least with our eyes, we could clearly see that, Prabhu. Yeah, that's all I could say.
I'm yeah. Ordinary person who knows me very well, they know that I'm very ordinary person. But my goal is there. This is my goal, and I'm working towards it. And what are the opportunities? Krishna, I'm very, very fortunate actually. Krishna is allowing me, engage me in this service of making PowerPoints and to conduct these classes to give all of you. Now I'm doing all this thing. I know that I will not be able to do these things anymore. Very short time now. I can begin to see that. So I'm doing it for Sharat Prabhuji. All these slides that I'm making, you will see my words, mark my words. You will be utilizing these PowerPoints. All these 100 lessons. I'm not sure I'm going to be around until Jaiva Dharma will start. I'll be more than fortunate if I can conduct this Madhurya Kadambini. But by the time Jaiva Dharma starts, my goal is to finish PowerPoint for all those 48 lessons. And he will have that if Krishna permits me. So it doesn't matter who is saying that. We are just, the baton. Somebody passes to you and he passes to next person. So we are like that. We are the links in that, devotee links. And the link continues. If we are not ready, somebody else will be taking our place. So every moment we get, consider yourself very fortunate and pass on to others. So whatever you are hearing from me, you pass on to others. That is the role I'm expecting from all of you.
Yes, Prabhu. So I have one question, Prabhu. Okay. The question is like before doing the devotional service, like it is like we were not doing any chanting or arati or not going to temple, like we are getting a lot of time. But after coming to the devotional service, like there will be some additional activities. Okay. Sometimes like we get a happiness or bliss. Okay. With the mercy of Krishna, some satisfaction comes. But sometimes it doesn't feel that like there is a lot of time going on these activities. So you are doing almost to 24 hours, Prabhu. Okay. So I would think while you're doing, you have a goal, at the same time you get a happiness as well, a bliss also you get, in my understanding, at least to some extent, satisfaction. I won't call it as a bliss, I don't know. So you get that satisfaction. Yes, I have delivered the session today. So at what time or what stage of bhakti we get that, Prabhu? So that at least if one reaches that stage, yeah, okay, so I will do more and more. Okay, right now I am not able to do more and more as you are doing. Okay, the reason for that is I'm not getting that happiness. No, I'm not sure. Yeah.
And again, that same example I give, that you're driving in a very stormy night, and you hide under your headlight of your car, you can only see 40-50 feet, and your goal, your destination is far away. You don't know whether I'm going to reach or not, but you're thinking about that all the time, about that, you might find the ditch. So focus up to where you are, that present moment, and do the best you can. Today I was not sure I would be able to deliver this class today, and you saw in between the class it happened, but I try to control myself, and depending on Krishna's protection and mercy, you keep trying. The body has limitations, the mind has no limitations. Mind is focused on Krishna. So my mind was totally focused. I want to complete this class today. That's why I didn't care about tomorrow. I care about this class. Would I be able to finish or not? And look, Krishna allowed me to do that. And by all of the mercy of all of you, you were with me. So this is so don't worry about that. Today I don't have that preparedness. I don't have kind of thing. Just utilize the present moment that you have. Utilize the best moment.
Don't worry about getting bliss on devotional service and all that. Okay. Just be at the current moment, you're saying, bro. Okay.
Do the best. Try to do more. And don't worry about bodily limitations. If your mind is strong, don't let the Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita also, don't let a body dictate to your mind. Mind is the one who should dictate to all the senses. And see the great daredevils. Have you seen the daredevils? They do some superhuman acts. How they defy the bodily abilities, and they achieve that thing. Because the mind is focused, but our mind is focused on Krishna. So that's what I'm saying, that we have the goal of somehow we'll be able to cultivate pure devotional service. I'm not there, but I'm on the path. I got a ticket and I'm already traveling. I'm flying. Ultimately, the plane is going to land there, but I have to remain composed and continue. So just think about the moment only and don't worry about it. Haribol.
Okay, bro. Got it, bro. Thank you very much. Don't even think of happiness. Don't even think of bliss. Just be in present moment. That is the summary, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So I'm going to tell Prabhuji give us few words in the remaining minutes we have. Haribol, Prabhuji.
Prabhu, you are in mute, Prabhu. Sharat Prabhuji, you are in mute.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Prabhuji. Radha Vinod Prabhuji, he was talking about the holy places Yes, what has been said, that has to be kept in mind. But please remember, Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, when he has given the 64 angas of devotional service, in that one of them is staying in Vrindavan, Mathura Vas, not in any other holy place. Just staying in Mathura, that itself is a devotional service. Then what Prasad Prabhuji was saying, what is hindering us? It is our previous aparadhas and sins. This is what is hindering us, and in between we are showing disinterest, we are not able to progress, we are not feeling happiness in the mind, and that will go like this, like in proportion to the disintegration of the aparadhas, the sins will also get disintegrated, and gradually will progress. That's what Charu Prabhuji has said. We should progress on this path. We should keep on moving without thinking about it. And one day, certainly, we will reach the destination. Then the third thing I want to say, this is regarding about the birth of a sadhu in a family, what was covered also today. I'll give the instance in two Puranas, Skanda Purana and Padma Purana, what they say about this. In Skanda Purana, it says that Kulam Pavitram Janani Kritartha Vasundhara Punyavati Chatena Swarge Pite Pitara Dhanya Esan Kule Vaishnava Namadheya. In whose family a sadhu or a Mahapurusha is born, a devotee is born, a child who has taken up to devotional service, then his family gets totally purified. His mother becomes glorified. And wherever he puts his foot, that part becomes totally purified, Punyavati. And what is given in Padma Purana, a similar thing, asapnanti pitara nrityanti ja murmu matkule Vaishnava jata samsastra bhavishyati. The family members dance in ecstasy when a sadhu is born. The family members means those ancestors who are in the higher planetary systems. When they see, they know that a sadhu is being born, and this child is born and he is going to become a sadhu, he will become a devotee of the Supreme Lord, then they dance. That's why we should encourage small children even to take up to devotional service. And this is what is given in the Shastra, what you saw in the Narada Bhakti Sutra. They are also given importance in the various Puranas. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. So now we are almost time. So I'm going to request Sagar Prabhu to conclude the class.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obsession. All good to Srila Prabhupada. Namaste Narasimhai. Namaste Narasimhai. Prahlad Dahini. Prahlad Dahini. Hiranyakasi Purvaksahar. Hiranyakasi Purvaksahar. Chilatankar Nathali, Chilatankar Nathali, Ito Narsingha, Parato Narsingha, Ito Narsingha, Parato Narsingha, Ita Yani, Ito Narsingha, Ita Yani, Ito Narsingha, by Narsingha, Vidari Narsingha, by Narsingha, Vidari Narsingha. Narasimhamadin Saranam Prapade Narasimhamadin Saranam Prapade Tavakala Kamala Bhare Nakadbhuta Singam Dalita Hiranyakasipur Tanu Bringam Kesavadhita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare. Tava kala kamala bhare, nakha singam, dalita hiranyakashipu tanu bringam, kesavadita narahari rupa, Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare, Jai Jagadish Hare. नरसिंह भगवान की जय, भक्त प्रहलाद महाराज की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, चारु प्रभु की जय, शरद प्रभु की जय, गुरुदेव की जय, ऑल assembled devotees की जय. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण तर प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम, सर्व प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम.
Very much, Saga Prabhu. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. All glory to Srila Prabhupada, all glory to Srimad Bhagavatam, all glory to the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. Hare Krishna. All glory to all of the devotees. And so tomorrow is the final lesson of Narada Bhakti Sutra. So let's hope we get to conclude that. And next weekend, I'm really excited to begin Madhurya Kadambini. There are 24 lessons in that. And then we'll see what happens afterwards. Hare Krishna, everyone. So I wish you a wonderful.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
I
Krishna,
want to
Prabhuji.
chant that Loka, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Tirthani.
Thank you so much.
Hare
Sarah Prabhuji,
Krishna.
thank you. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much.
Krishna
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna,
thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.